The simpler life feels, the happier I am. In this video, I want to share 10 easy ways to simplify your life, to make your life feel calmer, to make your life feel smoother. Some of these are super small, super actionable. Some of them are a bit more like lofty, but still implementable. Starting with the first way to simplify your life, by treating yourself like a kid when you want something. There's this TikTok ages ago all about how to say no to your kid when every time you go to the shopping center, they want to buy a new toy. And the tip was, take a photo of the toy, tell your kid, we're sending this to Santa. You build your kid's ability to delay gratification, and you don't have to deal with the fuss of saying a direct no. Start doing the same thing to yourself when you want something that's shiny, something that's for fun, that's not values aligned, but just say to yourself, okay, yep, I'll get that, but on Black Friday or Boxing Day, or it's gonna be a birthday treat, whatever suits you. By the time Black Friday rolls around, you know that you're not gonna feel like buying most of the stuff that's on your list, but you curb the urge to impulse spend by making this list for yourself. You'll end up with less stuff, you'll save money, and you're gonna be a less impulsive person once you build that muscle up. Number 2, there are so many little routines in your life that, if done consistently, keep your life smooth. And if you can improve those routines, you can make them easier to carry out, your life immediately gets easier. For example, whenever I would go to do a load of washing, I'd put my load on and it would run, but I would forget to take it out and hang it on the line. Before I knew it, the sun was down. My clothes were wet. I'd have to wash it again the next day, and the cycle would repeat. That was my bottleneck. So I got a magnetic kitchen timer that is super loud, attached it to my washing machine. Whenever I put on a load of washing, I also put on the magnetic timer. I actually hear the timer when it finishes. That's my cue. I get up, I hang the washing out. Those little bottlenecks tend to be peppered throughout our routines. And if you actively start to list out everything that's involved in your routines, whether they're like formal, like this is my routine, or they're just things that you do regularly, when you start to map them out and identify the little bottlenecks that are keeping things from ticking along really smoothly and really nicely, you'll start finding so many tiny little solutions that will just make your life easier. Idea number 3. I am convinced that the right amount of accountability in the right areas of your life can be life-changing. I've added accountability for 2 areas of my life that are self-care focused. Firstly, cooking. This is recent. So Luke and I do a day on, day off cooking, and knowing that on my days, he is coming home and he's gonna be starving is the only reason that I am getting up and putting effort into making healthy meals, and vice versa on the days that he cooks for me. Because I added a little bit of accountability to that area of my life, I eat way healthier. I usually have leftovers for the next day, so life is more convenient and eating feels simpler. The other area of my life where I've added accountability is working out. This remains one of the best decisions that I have made in my entire life, and that was signing up to Trainwell. Did it 2-3 years ago, have worked out 2 to 3 times a week since. Trainwell, or formerly Copilot, is a one-on-one personal training service, and their whole thing is that they simplify working out for you. You no longer have to think about working out. You get this beautiful light level of accountability with your one-on-one coach. My biggest problem with working out pre-Trainwell was that I would be consistent for a while and then life would inevitably get busy. And then I would fall off and I just didn't get back to it very quickly. Like, I would leave it for a long time. But with Trainwell, that just doesn't happen. I do have busy times, and maybe for a week I might not be as good with my workouts, but immediately I bounce back like that because I have my one-on-one trainer, the lovely Andrew.
Hello.
Who is always encouraging me and keeping me accountable in the background. So when you sign up, you start with a quiz that pairs you with your perfect trainer. So you can be like, yes, I really want tough love, or you can be like me and be like, I want compassion and kindness. Once you get assigned a trainer, you meet and you get to talk about what you like, what you don't like. What you like when it comes to accountability, I think, is actually important. If you're like me, maybe you like a little light accountability, or you might be someone that's like, no, I want lots of check-ins. But you really get to spill out all of your preferences to your trainer. That way you can get the most out of your Trainwell membership, and you'll be in the app, you'll have your customized workouts built by your personal trainer, and you'll be doing them consistently because you no longer have to think. Take the quiz by clicking the link down in the description below, or using the QR code on the screen to find your perfect trainer and get 14 days for free. Number 4, lean into Readied action. I was scrolling through Reddit the other day and people were talking about their yearly themes, their word of the year, and one person was talking about how they had a 4-month-old baby because they wanted to work out and journal and do all those healthy things, and their schedule was failing miserably. So their theme for the season was Readied action. So if the baby started napping at random, perfect time to work out. And as it happened, they couldn't ever get anything done until they let go of a schedule. And this can sound like an easy way to make your life messy, but I also feel like a little bit of this energy makes your life a lot simpler. When you're more flexible about when and how you do things, it becomes a lot easier to get things done, because when things aren't flowing perfectly, you're prepared. You're in readied action mode, and you generally are more accepting of life as it comes, which is a part of a simpler life. Idea number 5. Start to see your cleaning routines as cycles. So I saw this perspective originally on a TikTok. I'll try to have it linked down below. This is the way I think about it. There was this tweet a while ago that was floating around, and it talked about how if life is a cycle of never-ending dirty dishes and laundry, then it's also a never-ending cycle of warm, delicious food and fresh sheets. And I think in the like get your life together world, which I contribute to, there is this sense of it's possible to get your life together and stay with your life together all the time, which is in fact a lie. And that sounds hopeless, but I actually think it's hopeful. You can definitely implement routines and things that help your life from, you know, going out of control. But if you start looking around at your life in times when you're struggling, and instead of going, oh my gosh, I need to get it together, I need to reset, you go, ooh, I'm here in the cycle. How do I move to the next part of the cycle? It's a much more refreshing and simple way to look at life. Idea number 6. Here is my theory. Everyone that is overwhelmed is a carrier of secret projects. They carry around secret projects, it overwhelms them, and then they look around and they gasp. They are shocked that their life doesn't feel simple and easy. And it's because of the secret projects, the ones they have on the side but pretend not to have. So to be clear, meal prep is a project. Finding and booking a couch cleaning service, a project. Getting all the gifts for your family at Christmas, a project. Helping your friend through a hard time, low key, can be a project, which sounds clinical, but it's just reality. If it takes over 30 minutes-ish of your time, and is generally done across days or months, it's a project. And when you start to do regular project audits and you really ask yourself, what secret projects am I holding on to? You may realize that you are trying to juggle 20 projects at once, but you're telling yourself, oh, these are my projects for the month. You are adding secret squirrel little projects like under your own nose. And when you start to be honest with yourself and be real, acknowledge the secret projects as real projects. That's when you can decide to intentionally band-aid those projects or cull them. An intentional band-aid is, for example, if there's a mark on your couch, you need a couch cleaner. Instead of executing the project of finding, booking, getting a couch cleaner organized, if you don't have time because you have other priorities, you could have a strategic blanket. Place it over the mark for a while. It's not perfect, but it's a band-aid and it stops you from feeling stressed. That's the main goal of a band-aid. If one of your secret projects is cleaning the garage, but realistically, you don't have time for that. Like, you have so many other things to do. Now is not the time. Your band-aid could be create a path in the garage. When life feels deeply unsimple, when you feel deeply overwhelmed, start to find your secret projects. Band-aid, cull. Idea number 7. This creator, who I'll link down below, created the idea of a 2025 goal bingo board. You put all of your goals on a bingo board and you're crossing them off throughout the year. And I love that idea. But if you are like, man, I don't want to add any more goals to my plate, I don't want to feel pressure, try creating a 2025 discovery bingo board. We are focusing on the things that you want to figure out in 2025. Not goals, there's no pressure here. I love a figure out goal because it's so low pressure and it feels like fun. It encourages curiosity, discovery, experimentation, exploring, all the stuff that I know you to be good at. Take any area of your life that feels too complicated that you want to simplify and create a figure out goal out of it. For example, figure out how to make cleaning feel easy and fun. Figure out how to make eating healthy feel really natural and effortless. Figure out how to integrate reading into my routine in a way that is delightful. This is especially helpful when you have a lot of goals that you're like, well, I want to achieve all these things, but I don't actually know how to achieve them, because it plants questions in your mind. It gives your subconscious stuff to work with, and I am a believer that your subconscious is always working for you in the background. It is working on the problems that you give it and hand over to it. All of a sudden, you will find yourself thinking of solutions. And keep that bingo board front and center when you're doing your journaling or just when you wake up in the morning, and you will notice yourself coming up with solutions. They will hit you at random times, and sometimes you will be given solutions that won't work, but that's okay. You've got this figure out board. You have a whole year to figure these things out. This is one that I'm like, oh, I promise you, as long as you don't put pressure on it, by the end of the year, you will be able to cross off many things from your figure out board. Number 8, this is one of my like way more simple but super actionable ones. And I think that it's fun whenever you go on a trip. So I'm talking like a little weekend getaway or like a full on, you know, overseas holiday. Create a ritual of going to the cutest local boutique around that also stocks cards. So this is something that I do whenever I go on a getaway, especially if I'm by myself. I love a little grounding ritual. I make a point to visit all of the little local kind of touristy boutiques that stock cute cards. And I will be buying a card for my sister's birthday in 6 months' time. I'll be buying a Mother's Day card for next year. These will still feel really personalized. You have them so ahead of time. It will contribute to a sense of like, I'm an organized and put together person because I buy my cards so ahead of time. Idea number 9. This is one of the sillier but also low-key, impactful ways that I've simplified my life in the last few months. Organizing my cords with the help of ChatGPT. We used to have a box just full of messy cords. I didn't know what half of the cords were. I'm not a cord girly. I don't know if anyone's a cord girly. And with cords, it's so easy to hold on to them because you're like, well, I don't want to face the day when I really need that one cord, even though I don't know what it's for or what it does. So one day, got out my phone, ChatGPT was up, and we worked together. I took photos of the cords that I was like, I don't know what this is. And it would tell me exactly what the cord was for. Then Ziploc bagged every single cord. It sounds insane, but it really has worked for me. And I put little labels on the more foreign cords to say, this is what this cord is for. Here's when you'll use it. Future me is already reaping the benefits. Luke reaps the benefits. He's like, what? We have these, I've been wanting this. It's beautiful, it's functional, it's simple. Idea number 10. I have this theory that everyone has one way of behaving in their life that if they removed it would have a domino positive effect on every other area of their life. You just need to do the work to figure out what your one thing is. And if you want a step-by-step plan to figure out your one thing, I have a whole video on that. I'm gonna have that linked on the screen as well as down below. Don't forget to complete the quiz to find your perfect trainer with Trainwell using the link down in my description and the QR code on the screen. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you soon.